Good morning, Sri Lanka. Welcome back to the show. You're here with us after break, and you're here with me, Amaya, and Jason is here as well. We've taken over the show, and today we're going to speak about something that's pretty much taken over our lives, and it's very much a part and parcel of our lives by now, and that is
the internet. I couldn't wait. I was on the edge of my seat. That's something I really like to talk about. The internet.
The
home of
everyone
memes
loves.
And comedy videos on YouTube.
And I think the internet was, became mainstream when both of us were still maybe in our pre-teens, but for most of the generation who are growing up now, they've just grown up with the internet, and from the beginning, from the get-go, they've always been exposed to this type of communication technology.
Right.
But how do you deal with kids who have had the internet as a part of their lives just growing up the entire time? And does this become a problem in their development and in their future? Jason and I don't have the answers, but we have someone with us on the show this morning who does. She is Dr. Maya Cockram. She's been with us on the show earlier as well to speak about issues related to childcare, and she's here with us this morning as well. Good morning, Dr. Maya.
Good morning.
Welcome back to Good Morning Sri Lanka. We welcome you with open arms. Literally.
Thank you very much. Where's my coffee?
Oh,
you see that Siripala fellow doesn't make the coffee and bring it here, so we have to always, every single time. He never wakes up.
Yeah, we wake up and we're here early, but the coffee is not here early enough.
Coffee is not here.
Maybe after the show.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
So, speaking about the internet and your kids, it really has become a part of growing up, hasn't it? Right now, I mean, iPads and all sorts of tablets, as well as smartphones, so freely available to kids. How does this impact their development?
Well, it's a very good question, especially in the light of the recent news, with Facebook becoming instrumental in suicide of 3 children or 3 teenagers in Sri Lanka.
Right.
Well, first of all, I think internet is here to stay, right? And it is wonderful. It is amazing because you have so much information. It's wonderful because you have the world at your fingertips.
That's right.
But like with everything else, it has to be controlled.
Right.
And that is when the problems start. So, for example, today I was talking to 2 parents who were really concerned because they had given smartphones to their 2 children who were both teenagers, and they were really appalled because they found that they were looking at pornography in the night because the smartphones are with them in the night and the Wi-Fi is on.
Right.
Right. Now the thing is that everybody knows if you have a computer in your home, you need to keep it in what they call the high traffic area, which means kids should not have computers in their room.
Okay.
Right.
Just like kids should not have TVs in their room.
Okay.
Right? But parents forget that actually smartphones are computers. So when you give a kid, a child, a smartphone and say, okay, there you are, that's yours, through the night they can access everything that they want, and if there are no parental controls, access to Facebook, internet, everything. And of course that's very, very dangerous.
Right.
Dangerous because kids nowadays have a lot of knowledge about computers, probably more than you or I, but they lack wisdom.
Yeah.
And that is the difference. So, just knowing about how things work is not enough. You need to actually be wise about it, and that is when parents come in.
Because this is the first generation of internet parents, isn't it? And you don't have experience coming down from older generations telling you this is how you should react when your kids are in these situations. You sort of have to learn on the fly and learn from the experiences of other parents who are going through the same thing with you simultaneously.
Yes.
So how can you really get the information that you need to control this?
Right. Well, first of all, it's open communication, right? I mean, you need to have an open relationship with your children, your teens. That means that you need to be able to talk about the birds and the bees, about puberty, about reproduction. You need to have that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, if you have a relationship where you say, we don't talk about those things, then how can you explain pornography or any other things that come on the internet? Okay, so firstly is to have an open relationship. Secondly is, you have to also go and be part of that world. So for example, Facebook, very, very popular. I presume both of you are on Facebook.
What is this Facebook you speak of?
Well, it's actually for children only over the age of 13.
Yes, that is correct.
Illegal for children under the age of 13, right? But, and also, I mean, parents know that their children are on Facebook and they lie about it. Now, how can you ensure that your children are safe on Facebook? You be their Facebook friend.
Right.
So when my son turned 13, that was like waiting for 13 because he can get on Facebook. It's like, great, but I will be your Facebook friend, and dad will, and grandma and auntie, and everybody's Facebook friend. And I am not just your acquaintance Facebook friend, I'm your really close Facebook friend, which is wonderful, which means it can be monitored, the content can be monitored, but he can still have that freedom.
Yeah, we're close friends. That's a new thing that they've started on Facebook. That way you could select which profile you want to be close friends with. You can monitor it closely. But here's the thing though. Wouldn't that put him in an awkward position if, for example, my kid was on Facebook? That's right, I said I have a kid. My kid was on Facebook. Wouldn't he be afraid to wouldn't he use, like Facebook could have this thing where you could block a person and whatnot. Wouldn't he do that and just...
Yeah, well, I would, because if he blocks me, then I won't be able to have access to his. And then, so the contract would be, it's always good to have a media contract with your teens to say, this is my part and this is your part. And if you block, that means you have broken the contract, which means you have no access to Facebook.
What would you say is too much and not too much? Because if I was on Facebook with my kid, I would be commenting on his photos. I'll be like, nice picture, son. Wouldn't that just annoy them?
Well, actually, for lots of my son's friends, their parents do that. And that's fine. It's cool. And, you know, I can also compliment their friends on something that they have done. And it just becomes open and normal. Right? What happens is, if you completely ban it and say, no way, you are not allowed to get on Facebook, you know what, they will. They'll go to an internet cafe, they'll get an account on their friend's smartphone. So it's actually being open and being honest.
Right, so it would create rebellious children in the process if you do ban it.
Or people who are sneaky and go behind your back.
You don't want to raise a kid like that, would you?
So, you know, that's...
You start off with something like a Facebook account initially, but then it just snowballs into so many other things that they hide from you as well, doesn't it?
And also, I mean, that's why now there's so many other things, like Instagram. Okay, there's Ask FM, which I don't know.
I love Ask FM. It's awesome.
Okay, well, it's not...
She just gave you a mom look.
Excuse me?
It is not safe for teenagers. It is not safe because anybody can, you know, come in and ask you a question.
That's right.
Anything from what you're wearing to who did you last kiss, and I mean, and also it's a huge problem because of cyberbullying. And that's what the problem has been. I mean, Facebook
also,
as well.
It also affects the self-image, right? Because they base their opinion of themselves on what other people say about them.
Yeah, absolutely. And bullying is bad enough, you know, I mean, physical bullying. But cyberbullying is something else. Because, of course, you know, kids need to be told that they need to think before they post. Right? Because once it's out there, the whole world can see it.
That's right.
And you can't take it back. So it's about being honest and open, but also explaining to them how to be safe.
But now, Maya, you seem to understand a lot about social media as well, and you're pretty up to date with what's happening. But there may be parents out there who are not as tech savvy as their kids, definitely. So how can they bridge that gap and still have some control over it, especially if they don't understand exactly what social media platforms are and how they operate?
Well, they need to get tech savvy then. I am not tech savvy, Maya. I really am not. I don't even have a smartphone, and we have made a conscious decision in our family that our children don't have smartphones. Okay, we don't have Wi-Fi, and these are decisions which our kids are probably not too thrilled about, but we feel that it is important that they don't have that.
Right, because you're right, because when you look at kids today, remember when we used to play with Legos and all these toys? They would just be playing on these phones. And here's the funny thing, it even happens to grown-ups that use smartphones as well. I mean, you walk into a restaurant they're not talking to each other. They're just like, oh, let me post this picture up on Facebook.
Exactly, that's a good point, Jason. Do you find that social interaction suffers because of this, especially in children?
Let me take a picture of my food and put it on Facebook. Look what I'm eating. I mean, it is. But I mean, on a serious side as well, it does affect children. And now the other problem is with teens. Teens especially need a lot of sleep.
Okay.
And what they find is that if they are hooked onto social media through the night, they don't get enough sleep.
That's right.
I see.
Because, you know, they go to bed at 9 and then they get a text message and then they answer it and then they go and Google something else. So it's about being careful.
Right.
Now, with smartphones, with iPhones, there are parental controls. There are parental controls for Google, where you can put safe search. For YouTube, are you aware of that?
I did not know that there was anything on YouTube.
There is, but it's very difficult to find.
Right.
You have to scroll right down and then you have to press safe search. Okay, and then you have to actually sort of link it to your email so that the kids can't change it.
Right.
So actually, you know, my message would be for parents, if they have a computer at home, they need to know how to make it safe. Okay, there's lots of online parental controls they can download for free. Some you have to pay for. Even on their smartphone, if they choose to get their children a smartphone, they need to put the highest parental controls on it.
All right. So it's a tech-savvy generation, but parents need to be on par as well when it comes to what's happening in their children's lives always. And this includes what happens online. So that's the discussion we're having on Good Morning Sri Lanka this morning, and it's a very important topic. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Do stay with us.